The Run and Shoot Pistol 3 Formation Mini Scheme. Today we're going to be taking a look at the pistol formations in the Run and Shoot playbook in Madden 22. For the purposes of demonstration, I have put together a recreation of the 1990 Houston Oilers offense, probably the ideal personnel the offense has ever had. And that all starts with my childhood hero, number 1, Warren Moon, one of the greatest quarterbacks of his era. Put up modern passing numbers in a period when no one else was. Over at X, we had Haywood Jeffries, 6'2", 201. He was the biggest of the run and shoot receivers and one of the ones with the biggest catch radius. At H, I have number 81, Ernest Givens, 5'9", 178. He was fast, he was quick, he was about as dangerous as Tyreek Hill is with the ball in his hands. He could just make guys flat out miss. He had number 85, Drew Hill, 5'9", 170. He was in his mid-30s already by the time 1990 came around. But his leadership, his great hands, and he still had a lot of quickness left in him. The definition of a weapon. And then at Z, we have number 80, Curtis Duncan, who had issues this year, clearly getting to the end zone with only one TD, but to say he wasn't a threat too that the defense had to account for would be a mistake. The pistol spread formation. We're going to start off with the post drag, run and shoot post drag play. We like running this to the boundary so that post can get past the midfield point as fast as possible. If he's covered, then you can throw the drag. X streak, it's kind of similar. You want to get that crosshair across the midfield point as fast as possible, which is very useful versus a lot of man and match coverages. That post can also be pretty nice behind it. It's an option post, so it kind of hits deeper. Smash, we always like our smash concepts to the boundary because it's a shorter pass, it's quicker. You're going to wait and you're going to read over the hitch, and if everyone drops off around him, you're just going to dump it off. Otherwise, you're going to read above him and then across the formation from the hitch, from, in this case, left to right. So we're able to hit that, but if they're both covered like there, then we're able to hit that post coming across. And there he's not even covered because he's covered by a linebacker in a cover 0 play. You can also get that deep post open versus a cover 2. Assuming you have time to get it to him, otherwise you have that inside post. We have switch smash. It's going to again have the smash to the boundary, same basic idea. We're going to hit that hitch as many times as they'll give it to us. That's a gift. And with guys that really love cover 3, that's usually there. It's also there often with a lot of types of cover 4. And if he is covered, that backside post is really, really good against anything with split safeties. So he can kind of get there with most kinds of cover 2 as well as cover 4. We have Slant Bubble, and I really like this versus one high or no high. Here it is against cover 0, and clearly you can get to the boundary really fast. You're basically going to read the guy over the bubble, kind of like on an RPO bubble play. And you're just going to see, does he expand with him or not? And then you're going to play off of that. Halfback draw. Draw plays last year were pretty bad. I wrote them out, but I'm adding them back in this year. See, they can clearly not work great, but I found that if you run to the side that has an open B gap with your runner, otherwise you're going to end up on the ground. But if you can there's definitely a lot of room there. With the Lions, when the run and shoot was there, they had something they called Barry rules for their draw play, where one guy was left unblocked and it was Barry's job to get past him. And that's kind of how this play works out here a lot of the time too. This plays great against anyone that is pass committing. You can really make them suffer. We also have the halfback counter. This is going to be a major run for us. We're always going to run it as well towards that open B gap. So in an over front or the backside of an under front, we're going to flip the play if it doesn't come out with that counter aiming towards an open B gap. The read option. I like having the dive phase go through an open A gap. So like versus an under front is typically how that works, like there. It just gives you a lot more room on the give. However, running it against a over front sometimes gives the quarterback a little bit more room on that edge to get downfield. So there's pluses and minuses to running it versus anything, but the safest bet is to make sure that the running back running straight ahead on his course is not running into a defensive tackle. This is a custom one I'll run. It's a QB draw out of that slant bubble play we called earlier. I only run this against too high and a light box. If I see a light box and too high, that means they are going all out against the pass, and I'm going to pick up what I can. You need to slide because you will fumble with your quarterback. I'm not sliding here, so I'm setting a bad example. Grandpa always said, "Do as I say, not as I do." And now for a word from our sponsor. Hey guys, over on my Patreon, link in the description, I have a new pistol scheme guide based on the Chris Alt pistol that was very famous at Nevada. Join my Patreon today for as low as $1 a month. It's super easy. The pistol trips open formation. 60Z go, we like to run it into the boundary so we can put that flat defender into the most conflict. We want to get the quick flat route there straight out as fast as possible. If he's there, we hit it. Otherwise, we're hitting above it. We want to make that flat defender kind of pause and wait, not really be sure what's going on, and then we're going to hit it over his head. That's what we want to do. If they give us this all day, then we'll take it. If I see that there's a bunch of flow motion back towards the inside, then they're not going to be rushing out to the outside to get that guy. You can hit that over the top sometimes, but that's a little risky. For the most part, you're probably going to end up hitting that and just treating it like a run play to the outside almost. We do have slide as well. You can hit that. I like it on the right this year, or on the boundary side. I liked it more to the field last year because you could really attack cover 3 really well with it that way, but really getting that post to cross the field like that is probably better in this year's game. And don't forget about the bubble. If the bubble's left uncovered, you got to take it. Right there, I mean, that post can just be killer. This is a cover 1 look, and he beat his guy. You have speed in the slots, it definitely helps. Just hit it right there in the hole of the zone. If it is cover 3, that guy on the outside there will curl up, and it's an easy pitch and catch. Now we have level special, or level switch as they call it in the game. I like this version better than the regular one because it just has a little bit better answers versus cover 1 and some match coverages, just because that deep dig hits a little faster and a little sharper than it does on the standard version of levels. We have smash. Again, this is going to be the same thing. We're going to read our hitch. If everyone abandons him, then we hit him. Otherwise, we're going to be hitting over top of him. That corner route came open for me quite a bit. You can also get that seamer. And there, if you pass lead it, sometimes you can get him way open, which is what happened there. Now, this is a great play in the red zone or goal line area, but anywhere else, you need to smart route that corner route, or else it'll all just be a mess. But if you smart route it, so it's a 10-yard corner, then it really times up really well. It's a triangle read, so any kind of zone coverage, you can't cover all 3 of them. And you have such good routes there that one of those guys will get open versus man as well. We have our halfback draw again. It's going to be the same thing. We're going to look for that open B gap, which on this case it's on the left. We're just going to try and get through there. We're not always going to make it. That's okay. With these trip sets, if you see 2 backers in the box with 4 down linemen, so 6 total, then it's probably some sort of zone. This is very good against man. So if you want to be looking for that 5-man box. Halfback counter. Again, we're going to run that towards the open B gap and any kind of over or under front. Versus an odd front where you have a nose and like 2 5s, 2 guys lined up on the tackles, then you can run it to either side. And now for a word from our sponsor. Hey Scheme Junkies, I have a new Discord just for talking X's and O's and how they apply to Madden. Make sure you check it out. The Discord link is in the description below. We're having some great conversation and sharing some great resources. The pistol trips left open formation. We have our levels switch again. This time it's what's really known as levels change. I did a whole video where I kind of detailed levels recently. Link in the description. We have PA verticals. This is really good against quarters. You can get that guy open outside sometimes versus some types of cover 2. But otherwise, you're mostly going to be hitting these slots. One of them's on a crosser and the other's on a post. It's off play action. Versus quarters and palms, the safeties are in the run fit, so they respond to play action. So you can get a step or 2 on them down the field with your speedy slots. We're just going to read which ones comes open. Both these routes are really good against man coverage, and they're pretty good against zone. And yeah, you can hit that over the top, and that's pretty nice. We have our zone alert bubble. I've gone back and forth between running this to the field or to the boundary. It seems like there's definitely times where, like in this case, it worked out fine on the run. You're gonna have to play it off of how your opponent's playing. You can really run it either way. I like it a little bit better against the boundary. It seems like that bubble hits a little bit better and gets a little bit better blocking that way, but it's not 100%. Again, we're going to our halfback draw, and it's eating. It's a very, very good run when it hits. It takes some practice. You definitely need to go into practice mode and just run draw versus random nickel defense or random dime defense, whatever you see the most of. Now we have our read option. And again, we're going to be able to pull it. Make sure you smash that like button. Don't forget to comment below. Suggested audibles. Pistol spread, we have fade smash, 60x option, the halfback counter, and the read option. Pistol trips open, we have 60 go, level switch, Z spot, and halfback draw. And then in the pistol trips left open, we have level switch, PA verticals, zone alert bubble, and read option. Did I overlook your favorite run and shoot pistol play? Let me know in the comments below. Make sure you smash that like button, hit subscribe, don't forget the bell icon. Make sure you check out the links in the description, which includes our Discord, our Facebook groups, of course, my Patreon.